with Sludge, 111.864.
Wow.
You ready, bud?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. And here we are, back for Road Course Challenge Week. This is Season 6, Road Course Challenge, race time here at Watkins Glen. Hi again, everyone. I am Crusader with my good friend and colleague, Dirt GBX, and tonight, just an incredible field of drivers, 12 in total, ready to duke it out and battle it out for a chance at getting into the Final Four, just 2 weeks away from tonight. And Dirt, you've definitely seen a lot of hard racers and hard driving out there tonight. But what's going to be the lap count or lap filter tonight for these drivers?
So I'm looking at the stats we got here, and the first two stages are both going to be 8 laps apiece, which doesn't sound like much, but we are at a road course where the lap times are going to be around a minute 11, minute 12, depending. So that's going to be some decent lengths first two stages. The final stage is going to be 19 laps. And the interesting thing about that is they can only go 14 laps on fuel. So assuming it stays green, you're going to see some stops, some green flag stops. And at Watkins Glen, that's always interesting because you got to make that hard right turn out of the final corner to make it to the pits. And you make one mistake and you're either spinning out or you're hitting the sand barrel. So that's going to be something.
Yeah, I've been on the track earlier today, and I could say that it definitely was hard to figure out where the right line was, where the right spot was to hit, and how you wanted to hit it. And to me, these drivers are just going to be absolutely tearing it up for what I'm seeing times wise. The fastest tonight was a 1:11.568, held by the number 20 of Sludge. So the winner from last week coming in now to hopefully dominate yet again. And to say the least, he's been on a tear each and every week out. So tonight he's looking to hopefully get into the winner's circle yet again. But he's got some tough competition in the form of one don't mess with Texas McCarthy, Hoffy, Hubby, HD Nightster, ThePottles, The Throttle, and a few other great drivers in there. I think definitely they are in for a rough one tonight if they're not careful. So I'm interested to see how this will go down and how they're able to hold out the track. But nonetheless, you kind of hit it right on the nose. It's a long race. Being patient is definitely going to be a virtue here tonight.
Absolutely. And I've always said with road courses, speaking of patience, it's better to underdrive a road course than it is to overdrive it because you're never going to lose as much time. Bus stop is going to be one of the bus stop. Otherwise, you're going to find your car just kind of spinning off to the right. I did that a few times last time the Cup Series came here. And let me tell you, it's not a fun experience. So it's something they got to be ready for, and it's going to be fun to watch.
I mean, you just mixed in asphalt racing with golf. I don't know how the hell you came up with that old reference of a freaking sand trap, but I mean, nonetheless, well, I'll take what you got. So
that's what I've always heard them called, sand traps. What else are you gonna call them? They're sand. They're traps.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna call them. Let's get down to the track already and get to racing. Here we go, folks. Getting down live to the track right now. It's time to join up with the drivers and see how they will do on this very tough and hard to master Watkins Glen.
Yes, sir. Gonna be some fun racing to watch.
All right, as we get everything settled in here, get everything all dialed in, get the trucks tightened up a little bit more, get the drivers all ready to go. And we'll be ready to go here in just a minute, getting some last-minute preparations in. I know I'm 6 feet in the booth away from Dirt over here, and currently my producer right behind me is looking on and making sure that we're keeping our distance, and I will not attack him like I did last time. I made a promise. I will be nice this time. So we'll see how that goes, but nonetheless, green flag high in the air. Here we go. Stage 1 has begun with Sludge out to an early lead. Sparklish is down low, though, trying to take it away from him. A little bit of a contact.
Wide.
The Throttle has stopped. She has come to a complete stop there on the end of the track of turn 1. Something has gone wrong there. Might have lost power, but nonetheless, that's a bad break early on. She's got a long way to go to make up for that one.
Absolutely. They're making their way up the S's right now, and they are too wide, several rows deep, and that's kind of a scary situation to be in as a driver because those S's, man, just the transfer of weight when you switch from the left-hander to the right-hander and you're side by side with another driver, that is absolutely scary. But these guys did a phenomenal job getting through there. Something that might have got missed in the fray there, I believe Law Dog has blown a motor already, so he's sitting on pit road, unfortunately for him. But right now, it looks like Oaksy is running down the car ahead. That's going to be HD Nightster right in front of him. And in front of them, we got a battle for the lead brewing as Sludge and Sparkalicious are working their way through the 9 and 10 complex there, hugging that yellow line.
So far, Sparkalicious is trying to make a run early on Sludge, even though it is a little bit early in the race. They've got a lot of time to make up if they lose it now. But the thing is, like, these guys are just they're trained and paced, and just when you get the chance to finally get up there and make the run on anyone and everyone, no matter what the cost. And right now they're showing you why they're trying to outdo one another in each turn, in each lap. But so far, early on, I mean, the battle seemed to be in a little bit of the middle way, as HD Nightster, number 51, actually had a little bit of a battle there with the number 3 of Oaksy. Here comes number 22 of Don't Mess with Texas McCarthy, making a little bit of a run there, trying to get around HD Nightster, coming down the straightaway there into the S-turns as they will go to the carousel.
What an amazing move by McCarthy there. It's not easy to pass going into the bus stop like she did right there. That was quite an impressive move to keep the car underneath her and get around these guys. Now she seems to be pulling away a little bit. She had good pace through the carousel there. So don't count her out. She can run down the cars ahead. And I mean, we got a lot of racing left to go here. I think turn 1 is going to be the hot spot for action so far. I've seen a lot of different drivers take a lot of different lines. Last lap, for example, it looked like Sparkalicious broke on entry a little bit later than Sludge. But in turn, Sludge actually got a slightly better exit. So a lot of different lines. Everybody has a different idea of what they're going to do. And of course, we have this big runoff coming out of turn 1. So if the driver chooses to, they can kind of track extend the turn as they come out of the corner there. I believe the 3 truck just did it. And it doesn't really give you much time. It doesn't really give you much lap time, but it does give you some room to work with if you want to try to carry some more momentum out of the corner. You have a bit of a fallback instead of just going straight into the grass. So
I can say from running this earlier today when we were on the track, I did that a lot in all honesty, not because of the fact that I was trying to do it on purpose, but actually because when it seemed like I came out of turn 1 and going into 2, I always felt like I was going way too soft, so I would hit the gas a lot harder off the exit, and I would end up pushing my truck much more forward over the turtles and into the bay there, as you've seen that Hoaxy did. And I did feel faster at times, but like it was never to the point where I can get the truck to really settle in and get faster. It always felt like it was the same no matter whether I took it tight or if I took it hard, like Oaksy just did there.
Absolutely, and something that some of you viewers at home might not know, the rumble strips are very, very aggressive in this game. If you hit the rumble strips, they can get your car really loose and kind of send it in different directions. So these drivers got to be really careful when they're driving over these rumble strips, make sure they don't spend too much time on them so that the car doesn't get disrupted. But the gap doesn't seem to be extending or really depleting between the leader and second place. Maybe extending just a little bit, but for the most part, they're just running their races. And
right now, it's Boyo. Actually, he just got, sorry to interrupt you there, but it's Boyo. He had a little bit of a bad problem coming out of the final turns there, down in the front straightaway, and ended up getting passed by ThePottles and Throttle, the number 10. And the 19 of Butch Boyo ended up getting extremely loose off turn 1 and ended up going into the wall. So early on, he's got some major problems. He's going to have to tighten up if he wants to get back into this race. Because right now, it looks like indeed that the leaders, I'd say probably a good second and a half gap for Sludge as he continues to run the field and run the track down, making everyone just try to chase him down.
And I'm not sure if it was related to that incident there, but it looks like G Pre actually spun out and maybe made a little bit of contact with the wall in turn 1. The front end of his car is a little bit jacked up there, so definitely some damage he's going to have to repair at the end of this stage. But yeah, unfortunate break for him.
Looking back at our monitors here and looking back at our screens, it looks like G Pre did not end up tagging its Boyo. It actually was just a miss error of judgment on the turn, and it ended up costing him a little bit there. So that, unfortunately, as you said, yes, will need to get fixed up and taken care of. But right now, the number 3 of Oaksy trying to maintain a lead ahead of Poppy in that number 52 truck. And right now, again, early on, Sludge dominating, but Sparkalicious, remember folks, we talked about him over the past couple of years. not count him out. And wait a minute, we got big problems here. McCarthy looks to be in the pit already. She seems to have blown another motor from last week.
Oh no. Oh no. What a horrible break. 2 in a row. You gotta be kidding me, man.
I don't even know what to say to that, man. I knew she had a good truck going in. She was running hard and everything seemed like it was there. I don't know what happened there, but early on, big problems, as a good friend of mine would say right about now. And that is just heartbreaking to see her in the pits yet again. She worked so hard on this track. I was running with her earlier today, and man, she had a determined face on her mind. She was there, man. She had something going. That's a tough breakup for her.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, but nobody can say she didn't give it her best effort. She was having a great run before that happened, so you know, this is going to be a big hit in points. That's, you know, 2 blown engines in a row. I'm not sure she's going to be able to do much with the point situation now with how short this season is, but she can still come back and get a win next week just to make a statement. And if anybody can do that, I think it's her. So look out for her in the coming weeks.
I think, in all honesty, if it weren't for a few bad breaks last season, I think honestly she would have been the player of the year in Truck Series. Like, man, she had something there that no one else could find, not even I could find when I was running my best times. Like, she had it and she knew it, but it seemed like when things went wrong, it went wrong, and it seems like it hasn't gotten any better for her as of late. And unfortunately, this is no different right now. But right now, also, we have a little bit of a battle here. The number 51 of HD Nitzer is getting hunted by PTM Truck. She is right now been closing the gap with only about 2 laps left on this one. So right now, she has a good chance to catch up to him and make a statement here. Try to get back in the points race as well. She's been down and out a little bit as of late.
Yeah, you got it right. Now, why don't we go ahead and ride along with our leader here for a minute, Crusader?
All right.
Let's ride along with him and see how he's navigating this track. What is he doing so well that's got him this lead?
Well, I can tell you what's really got him this week is, like, he's got 2 major turning points right there. You see past that 200 marker, he knows when to hit, he knows when to get off the gas, tap that brake, and gear down. Now here comes the turn where he comes out of the bus stop into the carousel. He keeps it tight, keeps it low to the ground, low to the turtles, and make sure that he hits those marks constantly. That's the biggest thing when you're running the track, is finding the right line and hitting your mark constantly. And right now, Sludge is proving why he was the fastest in the qualifying, and right now why he is just absolutely tearing it up on this track. Just keeping it low, slow out of entry, and then hard off exit.
You'll notice he got a little bit loose on the exit of that turn. That is definitely the slickest part of the track, coming out of that final turn. I've spun out there probably more than anywhere else. It's just real slick there. And especially, you have 2 options going through that turn. You can stay in 3rd gear, which is the gear you're going to be in from the previous turn, or you can downshift to 2nd for a little bit of extra rotation. And downshifting is often faster than staying in 3rd gear. However, it's a lot more risky because that car is going to try to jump out from underneath you the second you hit the gas in 2nd gear, because you just got so much more torque in those low gears. And you really got to be careful, but man, he is absolutely nailing it. And another thing to note is, on his entry to the bus stop, really, this is showing how he is preferring consistency over speed, because it's possible to brake about 100 feet later than where he's actually braking. The thing is, it's a lot more risky. It'll be a little bit faster, but again, it goes back to what I said before the race. Sometimes it's better to underdrive a track and do it consistently than to overdrive and find yourself making mistakes.
And I think that's one thing a lot of drivers, especially the new drivers that come into this series, they really don't understand, or they miscommunicate with their pit crews and also their guys that they work with. Because the thing is, it's not hard to make a mistake on this track. Far from it. It's actually really easy to do. The biggest thing to just mastering this track is, like you said earlier, just find the line, hit your marks, and hopefully you don't under or over it when you're in your gears. Too much of a strong gear, and it's going to mess you up.
So the stage 1 has ended. We got Sludge taking the stage win, Sparkalicious in 2nd, Oaksy in 3rd, Hoffy in 4th. ThePottles taking home the top 5 in that stage. And that's going to be your top 5 for the stage. Now, I'm going to have the rest of them once the pit box pulls up here, but once our telemetry updates.
Now
and the
I'm seeing
telemetry has come
OC in
in.
the pits right now. I'm not sure what happened there, if he is blowing a motor or if maybe he just got put in the pits somehow. I'm not sure on that one, but we will have to go back and take a look, see if we can get the review on that sometime there.
I'm not sure he's blown an engine. His car's moving a little bit, so there's got to be something working there.
I hope so. I mean, if there's one driver that I feel like last season definitely did not get enough credit for how hard he ran, it was definitely Oaksy, or AKA Hubby, as most people have known him from the series. But he has changed his name. He is Oaksy now, so just understand that he is still with us. Hubby is always going to be here, but he definitely, last season, in my opinion, was one of his best seasons I've ever seen him run any track, because he always gave it 110%, and there are times like he got the break, and there's times he got the bad end of the stick. And that would always cost him.
And our pit road analysis can confirm he made it out of the pit road, so he did not blow an engine. He's going to be starting up there in P1 as they take the green flag, diving it hard into that tight turn 1, high banked. It's higher banked than what you might think from the video game. But ooh, the 16 contact way out into the wall. And here comes the 52 to the inside, trying to challenge the lead, not quite going to get there. Luckily, I think the 16 car didn't get too much damage from that there. I think
a little bit of damage on the 88 from the 16, and we got problems back here down the turns here at 18, and G Pre getting a bit of a run there from the 88, unfortunately getting into the 19 of it's Boyo, and unfortunately G Pre got a little bit stuck in there. Quite a bit of a hit there, but both drivers seem to be okay. Everyone seems to be maintaining the line and figuring out where they want to go. But right now, man, that was a pretty good hit that some of these guys just took there.
And they're still not done battling. Look at the Pottles with Hubby or Oaksy there. They were side by side all the way from the entrance of the bus stop to the exit of the carousel where Pottles finally got ahead. But that was some close, intense battling there. And I don't think it's over yet. I think Oaksy is trying to trailer back down and, make a challenge for that position once again. I mean, he's still there.
Down the stretch of the carousel's exit, and it looks like ThePottles is going to get a little bit more of a run off Oaksy. So unfortunately, Oaksy will not quite get back into that right rhythm right now. But
here comes turn 1. And I think he got a little bit better of a turn 1 than the Pottles. He might have gained a little bit there.
I don't think so. I think Paul's throttle actually had a little bit better. I couldn't tell you, like, times-wise how much difference it was, but I feel like she had a much better turn than he did.
Pottles into the wall, and the 3-car tries to avoid her, and he himself kind of overreacted to that, got into the outside wall. Not too much damage, but his momentum has been broken.
Took a good lick out of that. Unfortunately, that's going to slow him down just a little bit. But right now, the battle actually, believe it or not, Hoppy is looking to challenge the leader right now in Sludge, as Sludge just continuing to run the track and run his line, not giving an inch to anybody. He is absolutely flooring it to the end here. You could say he's putting the pedal to the metal against these guys right now. He is just absolutely getting it.
Yeah, it seems like as the race goes on, he's getting more comfortable with the truck and, kind of figuring out the lines a little bit better. And you're right, he is reeling in the leader just a little bit each time. And I think this goes to show how important turn 1 can be on these restarts, man, because he gained several spots in that turn 1 just by taking it as smooth as he could and making sure to avoid the chaos that kind of inevitably happens at a turn like this. And now he's in position to hopefully try and take the lead, so phenomenal driving by him.
Hoppy indeed definitely has got himself a good run in this season. Last season, of course, he had some great moments. I had some great battles with him as well on the track. Little story while we're running here with Hoppy. We were running at ISM, and I remember distinctly he told me flat out, like, man, on those last few laps, I will hammer it if I have to catch you. And I'm like, man, if you do that, you're going to burn your tires to a crisp, and you ain't careful. Well, turned out last 2 laps, I was still ahead of him. He was catching up to me, though. I saw him. Next thing I know, I just see him spinning in the off turn 2 it was, and he just blew his tire quicker than I could have imagined. I'll never forget that moment where he just told me, like, I'm gonna give it everything I got to catch you. But it was one of those rare moments I was ever right in a race, and I'm like, you do that, you're gonna screw yourself over. But nonetheless, like, I'll never forget that Hoppy. So I hope you go back and watch this, man. Like, I was a fun day for us. Just for the fact you thought that was going to work on that track.
Yeah, gotta watch your tire wear. But I'll say, the line that Hoppy's running, I don't think is being super abrasive on his tires, at least no more abrasive than the leader's line. And he's still catching up. I think now he's about a car length closer than he was last lap. The question is, does he have enough time? This stage has got to be coming to a close. I believe they're on lap I don't quote me on this. I'm not exactly sure. The telemetry hasn't updated, but I believe they're halfway through the stage.
We are just about halfway through the stage, currently on lap 4 of 8, so we will be running up amongst the final laps here as Sludge continuing to plow through some dirt and some grass, opening up his own lawn care service. Offie right behind him, just absolutely trying to find a way to make it stick, maybe mimicking his line a little bit to try to catch him, but right now Sludge is just making it look too easy out there for this track, in my opinion.
Now see, when you're in second place, you don't want to mimic the leader, because then you're just running the same pace as him. So I think Hoffy's going to try and, figure out something that maybe the leader's not doing. Like, I think down in turn 1, Hoffy actually has a bit of an advantage. He seems to be getting such good runs out of the corner, and his car isn't getting quite as tight as some other folks' trucks. So definitely we got some different lines coming and going here, and they're just figuring it out. But now we're on lap 5, and man, he's just closing in ever so slowly. It's going to be close if he has time.
Look at this in the back here, folks, running amongst the 4th place spot, or 5th place spot, excuse me, the battle for 5th as JR and that number 88 Ford F-150 battling it out with the number 3 of Oaksy in that Silverado Chevrolet, just giving it everything they got. Right now, the battle seems to be here as these two not giving one another any room. JR trying to find a way around him, not able to get it there. Looking to get it maybe through the bus stop here. Here they come through that turn. Ooh, watch that line, folks. Here they come down the back, coming down the stretch there. Through the bus to the carousel. Oaksy shuts the door, but can JR get the run on the high line? Looks like he's not going to quite get it this time, but he's going to push it through and nonetheless hang with him.
Man, that is something that's so easy to do in that carousel. You want to give it more throttle than the car. It feels like you should be able to go faster through that carousel than you really can. So sometimes you give it just a little bit too much throttle and you slide up to that outside line and the marbles, and around goes the 88!
JR got looped out of the turn. Whoa! He overdid it and it just lost it out of the turn. Nothing he could have done there, but that's what we said earlier, folks. You don't want to overdo the entry. If you overdrive the entry, it will mess you up completely on exit, because the thing is, you get so loose, you get so tight, that it will absolutely just ruin your race. And depending on what gear you're in too, that can make it even harder.
Oh no! Oh no! G-Pre was coming out of the pits, presumably because he was repairing some damage, and immediately gets loose and makes contact with the outside wall, giving him more front-end damage. That is a horrible break, but it's something that I'd be lying if I said I haven't done it. Coming out of that pit road, the change in surface from pit road to racing surface, it'll catch you off guard if you're not ready for it, and unfortunately, he just fell victim to that.
Hey, where's Watkins Glen located again? Can you remind me of this? I know we're at the track right now, but could you remind me where Watkins Glen is located in the States?
Watkins Glen is in upstate New York, and it's a very mountainous area. A lot of elevation changes, both on the track and in the area itself. They got a nice state park out there where you can sort of climb a mountain. They got a lot of steps and everything going along the ravines. It's a nice area.
All right, good to know there. I was actually going to say it looked like G-Pre was not in New York because he looked like he was in Georgia, because his front end looks like an alligator's mouth right now. It is bent in each way Sunday. Oh, my goodness. But right now, I was actually going to say we also have a little bit of a battle here. Hoffy actually caught the ground up on Sludge. He's actually fighting. Oh, hot Sludge into the wall.
Oh,
big damage in contact on there. He manages to save it, but Hoffy had to back off of that one. Big hit off Sludge there, but he manages to keep it going somehow. Impressive driving.
We're coming to the white flag of this stage this time by when they complete this lap, so it'll be 1 to go at the line. And here's the thing. Sludge has the lead right now, and he's got a bit of a gap between him and second place, but he has much more damage than second place. Second place is nearly damage-free, so can he take advantage of that? Can Hoffy use his completely undamaged truck to try and make a move? He closes in a lot through 9 and 10, and coming into 1 and 2, one of the tightest, loosest turns on the track, I think he's going to have it way easier than the leader with having no damage. Let's see.
Final lap of stage 2 here, folks, and right now Sludge, yeah, you can tell right now, folks, he is loose off entry into exit. He is just getting looser and looser. The truck is swaying left and right. He has got big problems, but somehow, some way, the truck is still holding on. He's pushing it forward and keeping it going, but Hoffy is not far off from him here.
Absolutely not, and if there was ever a time to try and outbrake him, it's going to be here if he can close the gap a little bit coming into the, and he does, he outbreaks him by just a little bit. Now can he get the good exit?
Doesn't look like he's going to quite get that good of an exit off the bus stop and into the carousel here. Going up high, bringing it down low, and see where it will go. But unfortunately, I don't think that's where he wants it to go right now because he's a little bit slower than Sludge off that exit. But this is where the 2 turns matter. This is where Sludge was slowing down big time, and Hoppy is managing to catch him. Can he get him off there?
2 car lengths closer now, through the final corner, coming to the green and white checkered. A little bit into the grass for the leader. Not going to be enough. He is going to hold off a charging Hoppy and take stage 2 with a wounded horse. That was some phenomenal driving.
Great driving from Sludge and great driving from Hoppy there, managing to hold it out and keep it there. Well done in there, as well as Piles and Throttle. She's actually worked her way up to 3rd now, so she could be a contender here, folks. Remember, she has not won a single race in a long, long time, and I can tell you from talking with her, if there's one thing she wants to do, is she wants to get a win again. She is sick and tired of playing catch-up. She's sick and tired of playing fiddle to everyone's violin. She wants to just run it hard and win. And what a way would it be to win in the Truck Series here tonight, going into tomorrow night's Canadian Tire. That, honestly, that would be a big one as well for the Custom Cup Series. So I can't wait to see that. But right now, she's dialed in and focused to win this one here if she can catch up to those leaders.
She's going to have a good starting position being on road, too, as long as she doesn't lose too much space on this pit sequence. But, you know, man, I'm not much of a psychic, but I bet I can tell you what Sludge was thinking.
What was he thinking?
Thank goodness that wasn't a 9-lap stage. Because I think if Hoffy had one more lap, it would have been a door-slamming battle coming to the line. But here we go. We're stacking them up one more time. Pottles gains a position off pit road. She's going to be starting on row 1 to the inside.
If you wanted a door slamming battle, you look no further, because right now we might have ourselves a battle here just in turn 1 alone. Follows the throttle, goes a little tighter down there. Sludge manages to hold off on the high line. He's going to take it and run with it, but Pottles the throttle following right behind. Down the turn here. Here they come now. Oaksy in the number 3 trying to defend off number 16 and number 52. He's battling them out there. They manage to get around him. Now Sparkalicious number 16 will maintain the position and get ahead of him. Coffee and HD Nightster right behind him in that 51, gonna do battle. Coming down the bus spot.
Oh no! The 52, oh man, I think he just narrowly avoided a penalty. He clipped the grass coming through the bus stop, Hoffy did, and it sent him right through the inside grass of that bus stop, and I think if he was much further to the side, it would have been a penalty, but luckily for him, the game allowed him to keep rolling. The officials reviewed his line and said, nope, you're good, and sent him on his way, so...
oh, big problems for Sparkalicious there. He's doing a little bit of a battle with Paul's the throttle, and he is loose. Paul Oaksy will make a move on him and takes a few spots off him. HD Neister is now caught up and made around it. JR as well, and Hoppy gonna close in on the gap, but right now, Sparkalicious just made a big mistake there and lost a lot of time. And big problems for Paul the throttle, loose off the first turn. She's got problems.
Oh no! Oh, the 3 car is upside down. The 3 truck has gotten airborne. They're still hitting each other down there.
7 cars involved in that one, just completely blindsided sideways and every which way to Sunday. They could not get the heck out of that one. So a parking lot in turn 2, and that is bringing out the caution. This is not a manual caution. This was not done via the guys in the booth right beside us. This was done down the flagmen. So you know what that means, folks. Stay with me now. He found his binoculars.
He finally found them.
For God's sake. Hallelujah! He found his binoculars, everybody. All right, and enough of that. So, flagmen calling the caution, so they will get reflined, restacked, re-racked, and all that, and they will get one more chance at this one. Judging by everything going on here, I'm shocked that some of these guys actually look like they were not going to pit, and you can tell right there, Offie opted to not pit, so he will get the second place restart. But Sludge early on, yet again, getting a big jump start off the restart. Down the turn 1, here they come. This is where it counts.
A little bit wide, and there goes the 52 into the lead.
20 is loose. 20 is loose. 52, Hoppy just took the lead. The 20 lost it in turn 2. Holy smokes. And the number 18 and G3 moving up a little bit there too. Bottles the throttle trying to hold off. But in the back, we got a battle here as the number 16 of Sparkalicious getting pushed back there. Same with HD Nightster and the 51 and the number 19 of It's Boyo starting to catch up. But Sludge, oh, are you like hard in the entry there? And Dave, these guys a little bit of a run there. I know it's hard to maintain that control, but you gotta learn, you gotta make sure you back off in the turn really hard out of entry and into exit there for Argue My Dad, the number 54. But everyone else manages to hold up there as the battle lead right now up front. The 88 has moved up into second place. He is challenging Coffee for first, but Paul's the throttle is not far behind him here, folks.
No, and this has been a very action-packed kind of interesting race that we've had so far, so I don't really need to add in any more drama to the mix, but I will say, I believe Hoffy is really close on fuel, and I think if he wants to make it to the end, even with that caution, he might have to do a little bit of saving, which isn't exactly something that's easy to do when you're the lead car.
Not at all, especially, I mean, I can tell you right now, literally, Gabe, saving your fuel on a road course is easier said than done. Just ask Sparkalicious and a few other drivers last season. But also saving your tires, I mean, the tracks we've ran on before, you'd think we got used to all that, but no, it's not one of those ordeals. Every track is different. Every track will burn them up differently. And I feel like right now, Sludge is just overpowering and hustling that truck through the turns and all that. And right now, I think that's a big mistake. He needs to back off a little bit and try to relax and try to maintain control of what he's doing. And remember that there is still a good chunk of laps here, about 11 laps, about 12 laps to be exact here.
Yeah, we got 12 laps of racing to go, and I will say, if Hoffy wants to save his fuel, I think that just the easiest way to do that is just to back up his corner entry every single turn. And he doesn't have to back it up much, but if you back up every corner by about 50 feet, which isn't a whole lot, by the time you've completed the lap, you've backed up a total of about 400, 500 feet, and that does add up as time goes on. So he can save fuel. The question is, will he be able to save fuel and hold off the charging JR and Pottles? Not too far behind him. They're only about half a turn behind him here in the S's, and they're battling. I think if they could break away and just kind of quit battling each other, they might have the pace to try and close this gap.
Well, I'll tell you one thing right now, Sludge, he made a risky maneuver there. He actually just went into the pits. You saw it live on the stream here, folks, and it looks like Sludge, I'm not sure if he's pitting for the fuel consumption, if he's thinking that's what it's going to work out to be, or maybe he's trying to get fresher tires for the longer run. If that's the case, maybe smart strategy on his end, but in my opinion, you don't want to go too soon, but you also want to go too late, because too soon, you run the risk of there's not another caution that you're going to have big problems going into that last bit of laps trying to catch up. Whereas Hoffy, I feel like right now, he's actually playing the smart role right now. I know he needs probably to get some fuel in there unless he's going to try and conserve it. But as I say that, speaking of conserving, here comes Pauls. The throttle pulls the slider out of the final turn down the front stretch. Made a big move on JR on the 88. Takes over second place.
And they have both, even with all this battling, closed in on the 52. Just a little bit, so, man, this is going to be something.
There's a lot of drivers entering the pit right now. Oaksy in the number 3 has entered the pit, and the number 16 of Sparkalicious and HD Nightster in the number 51, they are now doing battle here. I believe that is the battle for 5th, if I'm not mistaken here. So right now, early on, some of the new guys and some of the rookies, they're really trying to push their way into this. Road courses can definitely change up the game for a lot of these guys, and that's why we have them included in almost every season we run.
Right, and you do have a few more options at a road course like this than you would at an oval, because the lap times are so long that you can pit and not go a lap down. So you're never really at risk of getting trapped a lap down if you're not the first car, not on the lead lap. You don't have to rely on that wave around. So some guys can pit a little bit earlier and feel a little bit safer knowing, hey, if we get a caution, I'm not going to be that guy that pitted too early and got trapped 2 laps down.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing I really like about road courses is that you don't have to necessarily worry about that issue of being lapped, but it's also a matter of making sure you understand what you're driving on, what you are doing, because the thing is, if you forget how to hit your line, you forget where you need to brake and where you need to get your pinpoint accuracy just right, that costs you big time. I can tell you right now, last season when we ran Road America in these trucks, that was the biggest thing that I kept practice on each and every week out. It was like almost every day I was just on the track figuring out like where's my pinpoints, where's my spot I need to hit. How do I hit this? How do I hit this a little faster? And it was the same with Roval when we ran there. Like it was just find what worked, but find a line that you knew you can hit each and every time out, but you weren't going to cost somebody else's race just because you were trying to get a little faster. You always have to find like, okay, where's the break point and where's the release point? You need to slow down just a little bit more if you're with somebody.
Right, and it's absolutely crucial at these road courses to watch the car in front of you. Now, stock cars, they got taillight stickers, but they don't actually have tail lights. So when the car in front of you gets on the brake, sometimes if you're not watching real close, you don't know it, and you could get into them. So what a lot of these guys look for is they look for the rear end of the car to lift up a little bit, because when that happens, that means that the weight is shifting to the front of the car because they got on the brakes. So as soon as you see that rear end lift up, you get on the brakes too to avoid any incidents or contact with the car ahead. And sometimes you watch the car ahead of you more than you watch your own braking points or even the track. I think at some road courses, I've gone almost the entire race not really knowing where I'm at on track because I'm so tunnel vision on that car in front of me.
I always wondered if those lights actually worked on a truck, but I'll tell you what's working right now. Sparkalicious is working that number 16 as he is just pushing everything he's got, trying to get around his Boyo and that number 19, but the Monster Energy Beast not giving an inch and not letting him breathe as he tries to maintain and stay ahead of the most luscious of them all, Sparkalicious, just trying to get through those bus stop there into the carousel. Here comes 51 at HD Nightster. He's starting to make some ground up.
Absolutely, and I tell you, Spark isn't done yet. He got a really good line through that carousel, and I don't know, I think through 9 and 10 he might, be able to gain a little bit more ground here. We're currently on, we're coming to lap 33 for the leaders. So, yep, there goes Hoppy past the line. We're on lap 33 now of 39.
And Sparkalicious just made the pass out of the final turn down the front straightaway. He got around its Boyo. Boyo getting loose off the first turn, managed to make it work up the second. Didn't mean to interrupt you there, Dirt, but definitely a lot of action going in and heavy fast, and you just got to watch for it because when it comes, man, it hits you crazy on this track.
Absolutely, and I said he could make it happen coming through those turns, and sure enough, he made it happen. So a great drive by Spark tonight. He might not have led many laps, but he has definitely shown that he has the pace here. And if the cards could just fall in his favor, man, he'd be a scary threat.
I'd say right about now he's having a great season because he's been pushing everything he's got. I've said it before, like Sparkalicious to me has definitely been one of the more veteran drivers that runs with us, but he's yet to really show, in my opinion, his skill and creativity that he's able to run with. And he's really been pushing it as of late to show that he can hang with these guys. I definitely remember he ran strong last week in Martinsville on the Xfinity Series. He ran strong on Truck Series. I believe we were at Iowa at the time, and he had some great moments in there too, and great battles. I think he ended up finishing third in that one. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe you're correct. And I'll tell you, every driver has their breakout season. They have that one season where everything just kind of clicks for them, and then from there on out, it seems like things are just smooth sailing. And I think we might be, knock on wood, I don't want to curse him by any means up here in the commentator's booth, but I think we might be in the process of watching his breakout season as he's been insanely consistent. And even when he's had some rough luck and the cards just haven't fallen in his favor, he's done a great job of working through it and, salvaging everything that he can. And, man, he's doing a great job.
I'll tell you one guy that definitely has always been fast and hard, maybe not so much consistent, but one of the drivers that we're looking at right now, and that is JR in that number 88. If there's one thing I could say from experience racing with him is that he is fast. There is no doubt about that. But my thing with him is that I feel like there's times like he lacks the motivation or the understanding to really make the track blend in more to his style and what he likes to do. He has a very unique style where he likes to hit it harder and he likes to go a little harder on turns. And again, everyone has their style on how they drive, but it seems like with JR, he's always known for hitting a little harder and trying to push it a little more, and hopefully that it would stick. And sometimes that works for him and sometimes it doesn't. But nonetheless, right now, it seems to be doing him just fine. He's currently in third right now with only five laps to go out of this one for the final stage here.
Absolutely, and I kind of have a pet name for drivers like that in my mind. I call them glass cannons. They're strong.
Glass cannons.
They're strong and they're fast, but You know, it's one of those things where it's like they might not always be up front, they might not always be leading laps, but when they're on, look out because they will dominate when it clicks and it just works out for them. They're gone and away, some of the best. So, you know, we've seen that.
Speaking of the problems right now,
no.
my dad coming out of the turn one got really loose and straight into the wall there, and looks like there will not be a caution. So the flagman did not see that, and maybe for the better for some of these drivers. I know the leaders are definitely happy about that one, but my goodness, that was a huge lip they had there.
I don't. Oh, looks like Spark is slow.
Spark is slow. Something's wrong.
Something happened there. I'm not sure. He might have got a penalty.
Now here's the thing, folks, is now you can't really tell on the track, but there are, when you go through the carousel and you go through the bus stop, there are areas that if you hit it, you're going to get penalized, and it looks like Sparkalicious just got that, but right now he's actually got more problems because I think that front end has completely totaled his truck. He is completely loose. And right now, Hoppy is actually pitted. We got a new leader. PTM Truck has taken the lead.
Yep, our leader made his way down pit road finally. There is, let's see, how many laps? I'm waiting for the telemetry to update here.
There's only 3 laps remaining in this one.
Wow, interesting. So I believe some of these guys shouldn't have to pit. You know, a lot of these guys that pitted when the caution came out. I think. Let's see, where is Sludge? What's going on with him?
He is currently coming out of turn 3, going down the back straightaway there. He'll be hitting the bus stop here in just a minute. So right now, he's got a little bit of a run there, but right now, if Positive Throttle has to pit, that's going to be problems for her because Sludge is actually making a little bit of a run here, but nonetheless, it's not necessarily a bad thing because in this case, with that lead as far as it is, I think honestly that'll actually help them. But nonetheless, I'm not sure what the fuel run is for them or how much laps they have left, but currently looking at the thing right here, 3 laps remaining in this one. I'm not sure she's going to try and stick this one out.
You know, if I'm her, I don't think it matters at this point. I'm going to try regardless. You know, like at this point, you're committed. There's 3 laps to go. Even if it's close and you might coast to the finish line, you gotta take it. Because she stayed out so long now on these old tires that even if she pits and takes a splash of gas, Sludge is going to come out ahead of her. So I think she's kind of locked into the strategy that she's chosen, and if it works out, it could get her the win. You know, but that's that double-edged sword of, you know, this could get her the win, or if a caution comes out, she might be good on fuel, but now, you know, she's got Sludge starting on the outside line, and he has fresher tires. So it's going to be interesting. This is definitely like a 4D game of chess playing out at 200 miles an hour.
Well, right now, they're going to have to figure out which piece to move right now, because right now, PTM's is moving her queen into place to take out the king. She has 2 laps remaining in this one. JR in the 88 following right behind her. I think JR might be trying to save off on his fuel and his tires. I noticed he was getting looser earlier. He might just be trying to hold off a little bit more and try to hang with it. Not trying to make any big changes there, I could say. Trying to figure out who currently is in 3rd, though. That is currently my problem. I'm not sure who is. Unfortunately, we don't quite have a leaderboard. We're able to pull up our screens right now. Producers, can you give me the intake, please? No, oh, okay, thank you. So our producers are saying right now they'll show us who's and where in just a minute. Currently working around some things here. So as we said before, Powell's the throttle, number 10, she's leading it. 88 JR, and then right behind him, it looks like it is the number 19 of its Bolio. So the Monster Energy Beast has a chance actually to pull off one of the best finishes he's ever had in the Truck Series. And what a way to go out if he can do it here tonight at Watkins Glen.
Absolutely, and here comes our leader, ThePottles, coming out of turn 10. Nearly getting into the wall there. That's a product of how worn her left side tires are, but she's going to take the white flag, and it's one more time around. Does she have the fuel, and is that left front going to survive?
If that caution comes out now, folks, it's over. The race will end there. Powell's the throttle going a little bit wide there, right into the wall. May just try to save it a little bit. She does, and it maintains. But nonetheless, she is holding off for this one. She's going to try to outrun and outgun JR. I'm not sure if he's going to try to make a big run there and try to catch her, but he is definitely pushing it there, to say the least.
He's making a charge, and man, this bus stop's going to be scary with how worn her tires are, because that left turn out of the bus stop is going to be just about nigh on impossible, but she gets a good line through there. Now into the carousel again, going to be tough with that worn left front tire, and she's going to be able to get a decent line through there. She is doing as good as I think anybody could do with a car that's been this used up.
A little bit of a battle
JR
here.
has gained so much.
Passed there by Oaksy there. And HD Neister, the 51, he's trying to make one last chance at the top 3 here. He wants his very first podium win here. He's trying to catch up to the number 19 of It's Boyo. I don't think he's going to have time. And coming down the front straightaway here, you see it live right now. Pottles, the throttle will finally end the curse and the bad luck. She will finally put it in victory lane here tonight at Watkins Glen. And if you're Sludge right now, I don't know how you're feeling about that one. He just made a mistake early in stage 3, and it ended up being his downfall there.
Yeah, that goes to show sometimes in racing, just wrong place, wrong time to make a mistake.
Folks, watch that finish. Here comes HD Neister. Oh, Sparkalicious got around him. Oh!
Wow.
He made a last-minute run and took 4th. Holy smokes. Oh, excuse me. No, yeah, he took 4th out of that one. It is confirmed. He took 4th away from HD Neister. He's going to get put back in the back, and Sludge ended up finishing 6th, Oaksy in 7th, Hoppy in 8th, 9th going to Are You My Dad, and 10th to the newcomer G Pre to the Truck Series. You've seen him in Cup Series a few times. He'll be running with the Xfinity Series as well. He managed to hold out tonight, and he actually put it in the top 10. Well done for Mr. G Pre.
Absolutely, and a quick rundown of our top 10 in its entirety. We got Pottles with the win, JR in 2nd, It's Boyo in 3rd, Sparkalicious, HD Nightster, Sludge, Oaksy, Hoffy, Are You My Dad, and G Pre. So that's going to be your top 10 in its entirety. What a race.
What a race indeed. You had a lot of great moments in there for a Watkins Glen track. You usually don't see too many of those happen that often, but nonetheless, they had a great battle, and they had some good chances to really take the win and really run with it. Sludge, he had 2 great finishes in the stages, but that final stage, I honestly am kind of curious to go back and watch and see what happened, because it looked like he just got loose and lost everything in the turn, and it decided to be his downfall as he was trying to play the strategy game of pit now and worry about it later. It didn't work in this case, so unfortunately, tough break for him, but he still has a win in the season, and honestly, he should be in pretty good condition going in to Texas next week, and hopefully he can get into that top spot. Hoffy with the fastest lap of 1:11.109. Holy smokes, that's fast. And G Pre with the slowest at a 1:15.515. Shout out to my boys at Slipknot for our boys 515 boys.
All right, well, we're waiting on our top 3 to get to the booth. And I believe we're going to see the leader do some burnouts, or the winner do some burnouts here momentarily.